What's going on, guys? In this video, we're talking about how society punishes men who follow the rules. This is a hard one, but you need to hear it, okay? Now, what do I mean by follow the rules? I mean all of those things that the system tells you to do. They say, if you do this thing, your life's going to turn out well. Being like a good little boy and doing what they say, and basically like you're supposed to get everything you want out of life if you play by the rules. You know, you're going to get your happily ever after story. Life's going to be great. You're going to get everything you want, all that kind of stuff. But truthfully, you follow the rules, you end up with a disaster of a life, guys. And that's what we're going to get into in this video. And then I'm going to provide you guys with an alternative that actually can get you what you want out of life. So let's get into it. So the rules say that you should go to college and get a job. Haven't we all heard this before? Your guidance counselor said it. Your high school teacher said it. Maybe your parents said it. Everybody definitely said you need to get a job, right? Go get a 9-to-5. You're going to climb the ladder. You're going to save some money up, and hopefully someday you can retire. This is what the rules say you're supposed to do, okay? Well, this is what the rules actually get you if you do this, okay? You played by the rules and it got you this income right there. The average person in America is earning $39,982 per year. That's less than $4,000 a month. That might even be less than $3,500 a month. I don't know what the hell you're doing on that kind of money. I mean, can you even afford an apartment? If you can, it's that one right there. The fluorescent light panel, dingy, like you can hear I you know those fluorescent light panels, like you can hear them whining. You know how they make that noise? They're like like they're like that kind of noise. Like you can hear that panel doing that right now. There's like a fly buzzing around in it and shit, right? Like this is the kind of apartment where your next door neighbor is like, as we speak, committing a domestic violence charge. Like while you're trying to cook up rice-a-roni on the stove there, you just hear some crazy shit going on next door. Maybe there's a roach on the wall. Like this is the way it goes, right? You're driving a car like this, driving that car stuck in that traffic for a job you don't even like. You know, you're listening to some chick in HR complain about her problems to you at the water cooler. You don't even know what you do at this job. You don't like the job. It's just a total fucking mess, guys. And then on top of it, America owes 1.2 trillion in credit card debt. So all of this, like you followed the rules and you're just living this garbage life and you're in debt to even afford that. Okay? Just think about that, guys. It's an absolute disaster, okay? The rules say that you should be a nice guy, be yourself, and the right girl will come. This is like the kind of like pseudo wisdom that's out there in the modern world, is like, hey, just be a good guy, you know, and like be yourself and the right girl will come around. And they always say, like, if it didn't work out with the girl, they always try to blame it on like it just wasn't meant to be, like some fairy tale bullshit, right? Like as if there's no skill involved in getting a woman, as if like there's not a certain way that you do this that actually gets results. They just blame it on luck and fate and all this bullshit, right? And this is the rules, right? You're supposed to be nice, be yourself, and someday the right girl will come, and this kind of shit. Well, here's what this actually gets you. It gets you left on fucking red, guys. Everybody knows this shit at this point. If you're still buying into this stuff, I don't know what you're doing, guys. You're left on red. The girls that you go on dates with, if you can get a date, they're not really into you. You don't get second dates. You're getting no matches on dating apps. You're getting no attention. You're like a bottom feeder. You're like convincing yourself that you're happy with some girl that you're not happy with. She's out of shape. She's unpleasant to be around. But like this is the best you can do because you're playing by the rules, and this is what they say to do. And every girl you did like just ghosted you. This is the game, right? They tell you to be yourself, and this is what it gets you. Nothing. Fuck all. Like, it's an absolute disaster, and everybody knows this shit. Now, when you see what I'm getting ready to show you here, what I want to ask is, like, do you think this guy followed the rules? That's the big question here. When you see this house right here, $55 million oceanfront mansion, when you see that house, do you think this guy followed the rules? Just ask yourself that, guys. Like, do you think that guy played by the rules? Do you think that he went to college, got a 9-to-5 job, and he wound up with that house? Nobody thinks that, okay? Do you think that the guy with that Aston Martin right there followed the rules? You think he got that from his business administration degree at some random college, and now he's got an Aston Martin out of it? Like, that does not happen, guys. We all know this, okay? This guy did not play by the rules. Let's look at this right here. Do you think Dan Bilzerian played by the rules? That's how he got the girls. He played by the rules. He was just being a nice guy, being himself. The right girl would come. That's how he got this. Is that what you think? And if you don't want to be Dan Bilzerian, well, look at Grant Cardone and his family right there. Like Grant Cardone, he homeschools his kids. He flies around the globe with them. He's obviously super successful. He's a multi-billionaire at this point off of real estate. He's got his wife. If that's more of your style, ask yourself, do you think Grant Cardone got that by playing the rules, whether financially or in relationships? Do you think he got that by just being a nice guy and being himself, and someday the right girl would come? We know the answer to this. Nothing good in life comes from playing by the rules, guys. I'm telling you, like, you can see this right here. You already know deep down that the people who are winning in life broke the rules. They didn't listen to this shit that the system tells you to do. The rules are a sucker's game. That's what you need to understand. They are designed to put you in the exact position that they put you in. The rules are not set up for you to get an amazing life, okay? And I'm going to kind of discuss that here right now. The rules are not set up for the success of the common man. They are set up to maintain the status quo. That means giving the average person just enough to keep them dependent without revolting. Okay, this is the harsh truth. You got to understand, like, the system is set up to propagate itself, and it's supposed to support the people who are in power. That's how it works. This is just like, and it makes sense, right? Like, it is, why would the people who are in charge of everything, the richest people in the world, why would they get up in the morning and think, you know what, I want to make sure Steve in Oklahoma or Bob in Georgia or, I don't know, Gervonta in Baltimore, like, I want to make sure these guys are just getting the best out of life. Do you really think some billionaire financier guy gives a fuck about that? No, he gives a fuck about himself and maintaining his position of power. And how does he do that? He gives the average person just enough to keep them dependent without revolting. If they give them too little, then everybody starts throwing a fit and there's a revolution. But if they give them too much, then everybody escapes the system and then they don't have a bunch of workers running around obeying orders, right? So they need to keep you dependent without revolting. And that is what the rules are designed to do. Give you just enough to shut the fuck up. We give you porn, we give you video games, we give you Netflix, we give you this like one bed apartment, like just shut the fuck up, take your little money and just leave us the hell alone while we do what the fuck we want to do. That's how this really works, guys. And deep down, I think you know it. It's just obvious. A bunch of free men running around doing what they want is not in the best interest of the system. I mean, just seriously, like, the system wants to control. It doesn't want you to just be out there getting it and doing what the heck you want to do with your life. It just doesn't make sense on its face. If you want more out of life, you have to break the rules. You have to just say, fuck all of that shit. I'm not playing by these rules. And people are going to judge you for it, but it's what you have to do. Otherwise, you're stuck in that life that I showed you just a minute ago. So what does breaking the rules look like? Well, it looks like LifeMaxxing, which is, pretty much the core idea of this entire channel is this concept of LifeMaxxing. Playing by the rules means playing the game society wants you to play, right? It's like they want you to pay your taxes and die. They want you to be a good little boy. They like kind of this feminist society because women are easier to control. So they want you to just be a nice guy, be submissive, buy her flowers, all that shit. Like this is working for them. You understand that, right? Like, and so playing by the rules means playing the game society wants you to play, meaning you live the life that is most useful for the system. It's useful for the system that you pay taxes and die. It's useful for you to be a good boy, buy the girl flowers, and do what you're told. You got to understand, like, this is what they want. It just makes sense. Like, they do not want you to be a problem. They don't want you causing trouble. They don't want you out here doing what you want to do, okay? LifeMaxxing rejects this. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to get into LifeMaxxing as the alternative. This is how you break the rules in a way that gets you what you actually want. This is what LifeMaxxing looks like. Just some examples of it, right? It looks like, boxing and doing things like that, pursuing passions and doing interesting things, going on cool trips, setting yourself up in those kinds of situations. It looks like a laptop lifestyle where you can make money working for yourself from wherever, doing things like that so you have freedom and control over your life. It looks like reading and personal growth and getting better. It looks like dating on your terms with women you actually want to date, and you're not some submissive cuck while you're doing it. You're the guy in that situation. She's thrilled to be with you. She's in your frame. It looks like doing cool shit, driving fast cars, having a life that you actually would want to live. And the thing is, like, I wanted to put these pictures here just to show you an alternative because I just don't think a lot of people think this through. Like, Some people have, and they're like, okay, like I'm gonna go for this life. And those are the ones who break the rules and they get better out of life. Then there's some people who know this shit exists, but they don't think it can be done for them for whatever reason. And then there's just a lot of people out there who don't even know this is an option. They just haven't even thought about this. And so I try to present this to you guys just so you understand. Well, like, one, I'm just a normal fucking guy, and I've managed to make a decent life for myself to this point, and I'm not even near the top, right? Like, there's people who are doing way better than me out there that I'm working towards getting to their level. But my point is, like, you don't have to play by the rules. There is another alternative, and it's not for special people. It's for anybody who just has the fucking balls to punk the game and say, I'm not going to play by these rules. I'm going to do what's in my best interest, okay? And that's where all the good stuff in life comes from. Life maxing is the alternative to the normie life. You break the rules and live a life on your terms. So how do you life max? That's the big question. Now, well, my whole channel basically is about this, but what we're going to cover are 5 foundations of life maxing that are essential. So like literally just binge my content. You'll start to understand life maxing. And obviously I'm going to keep making more videos on the subject, but like this is kind of like my mission is really to help you guys get off this normal life path. Because when I was in college, you know, I was depressed. I was like, I'm going to go work in a fucking cubicle for the rest of my life. This is absolutely depressing. I don't want to do this shit. And it wasn't until somebody showed me what was possible out there that I realized, oh, I can do something different. I dropped out of college, got my real estate license. A lot of you guys know this story. Started pursuing a life of entrepreneurship, a life of freedom, a life maxed existence before the term even existed. That's what I was doing. And then I looked back and realized, oh, I've been trying to life max. And that's when I started to formulate this whole philosophy for you guys. So the first thing that you need to do to life max is you need to develop the douche mentality, which is something I've been fleshing out a lot on the channel recently. This is super important to understand, okay? These are the keys to the douche mentality. You need to prioritize yourself and your goals. Like I was just saying about life maxing is like you have to get to this point where you say like, fuck the system, I'm going to do what I want to do. That's where the douche mentality comes in, because if you're just the normal person, that terrifies them. They're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of being wrong. They want other people to tell them how they should think and how they should live and all this stuff. The douche just says, I'm going to prioritize me and my life. I've got one life here. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to do what I want to do. Whatever that looks like for you, that's what you got to do. You need to think for yourself. Understand that most people have absolutely no idea what they are doing. You got to understand that. Like, most people are completely just, they're running off of like 10-year-old heuristics. They heard something 10 years ago and they're still running off it, right? Like this is how people go through their lives. This is why they'll tell you like some outdated financial advice. They'll be like, hey, yeah, you should put your money in a savings account. It's like, you put your money in a savings account, inflation eats it up, guys. This is not the 1980s, okay? They'll just say like wild, outdated shit. They haven't thought anything through. They heard something in a movie and that's just what they think they should do. Think for yourself. Ask yourself, does this actually make sense? What I'm doing, does this make sense? Does this get me what I want? You need to start thinking critically, okay? A douche thinks critically. You want to live life authentically and without apology. What that means is like, you're just not with this hesitant shit, right? So many people are going through their day-to-day lives and they're just hesitant about everything. They're hesitant to say what they think. They're hesitant to fully be themselves. And they just kind of like live like this watered down version of themselves. They don't really pursue what they want because they're kind of afraid of putting their neck out there. They kind of don't say what they think. And if they do, they're like really hesitant about it. Like, the douche just says, fuck all that, guys. Like, you got to develop this mentality. Like, why can't you just say what you want? Why can't you just say what you believe? What's the matter with being you? You know what I mean? Like, really being you. I'm not talking about some like low level version of yourself that like smokes weed and plays video games. I'm talking about like the ultimate version of yourself, the man God put on this earth. Like, why can't you be that guy? Live authentically and without apology. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Treat life like a fun and challenging game. The douche views life with this very like, simultaneously he views it seriously in that he understands like, okay, I've got this one life and I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna do some cool shit with it. But at the same time, he's like, this is all fun. Like, this is challenging. It's fun. It's out here to test me and make me the best version of myself. And I'm just gonna do cool shit. That kind of like duality idea, like where you're going really hard, but you're also like loose about it. You're not so attached to things, right? You develop that kind of mentality. This is all essential to life maxing. You need to embrace your death. And that might sound morbid and kind of random to put in here, but the reason this matters is because the reason that the douche is able to have this very loose approach to life is because he understands he's going to die and he's going to lose it all anyways. Like, you make $100 million, you're still going to die just like everybody else, and you can't take the money with you, right? It doesn't mean you don't go make the money, but the point is, like, you don't make the money, you're God. And you prioritize, like, when you embrace that you're going to die, you get to yourself into this headspace where you realize that you are all you have, and all of this stuff is temporary, and whatever part of you is eternal is going to go on to whatever comes after this life, and everything here should just be viewed as fun. It's like, I'm going to go make the most of this life to the best of my ability, and someday I'm going to die, and I want to look back and be happy that I lived. And I'm telling you, man, the average person's not feeling that way. They're going to look back and realize they were working a job they hated, they were in debt, they had a wife who didn't respect them. Like, it's just a fucking disaster, right? And the douche just can't deal with that because he knows he's going to die. And also, when you embrace your death, you realize, like, there's no reason to give a fuck what anybody thinks of you, because they're going to die too. And that's another essential part of the douche mentality, is that ability to just kind of, like, not give a fuck what anybody thinks, because you're like, what the hell do these people know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's just like it's an essential thing you understand, is that you're going to die. And if you can get that into your head, you operate with a level of freedom, okay? Only submit yourself to God. What do I mean by this? I mean, there is nobody above you. That means women, that means men. That means in a relationship, you don't give up your self-interest and what you want out of life. You don't give up your vision and becoming the ultimate version of yourself for a woman just to make her happy. You're not going to be in some beta position in a relationship. You don't, submit yourselves to the whims of a government or the whims of a boss, right? Like, if a boss, like, listen, if you have a job, obviously you have to, like, you probably have to keep the job unless you're in a spot where you can literally just up and quit it, in which case maybe you should go ahead and do that if you don't like the job. But my point is, like, you should, I really believe this. If you're in a job that isn't serving you, you should in some ways kind of rebel against it. You know what I mean? Like, you should, like, you should be pretty unmanageable. I think the right way for a man to go through life is to be unmanageable in a real way. Like, I really think that, like, obviously, like I said, if you've got a job you have to keep, then I'm not advocating you go out here and get yourself fired on some dumb shit. But, like, like, I got fired from multiple jobs that were just like wagey kind of jobs, like minimum wage type shit. And it's not because I'm stupid, obviously. It's because I was just like, fuck this. Like, some person I don't respect keeps trying to boss me around, and I just cannot abide by this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that kind of fire in you where you just cannot tolerate it. And too many people are just too comfortable with being submissive. They're just too comfortable with letting the boss tell them what to do. And they're passive aggressive about it. And you just have to, like, resist this. Like, you, to the best of your ability, you have to rage against anybody who is trying to control you. And I've done this in literally every time I've ever been in a position like this. The last job I had, I've talked about it before. I worked at a UPS store for 18 months. I actually really respected the guy who ran the company, and obviously he was the owner of the company. I got along with him well, and obviously, like, I had to, like, listen to what he told me to do as the owner of the company. But even there, like, I pushed back, not in like a disrespectful way, but I pushed back to, like, a certain degree where, like, I carried myself in such a way where I, despite being his subordinate, demanded a level of autonomy. I demanded a level of respect. And like, he gave me that, right? And this is why we got along well. He was a very similar guy to me as far as personality and stuff. So he probably got it on some level, But, like, it would be this thing, and you'll see how this works in real life is, like, going back to that situation, there were certain things at the UPS store that I just didn't have to deal with, that other people had to deal with because they would tolerate it. And what I mean when I say only submit yourself to God is I don't mean just like be like abrasive in this way that's just really self-destructive. I just mean, like, you're carrying yourself in this way where it's like, hey, listen, maybe in this situation you are my boss, you are the owner of the company, I need to follow your instructions and things like that, but you're not talking to me like I'm your like in a dominant way. You're not going to treat me like I'm submissive to you. That's not what this is. There's going to be mutual respect. There's a hierarchy, but there's mutual respect demanded, okay? And there's a certain way you need to carry yourself, and that's what the douche is all about. Like, if you're comfortable being submissive to somebody, that's a problem. And you should really like reflect on that, right? Like you might need to go get some fucking TRT or get some testosterone supplements or get in the gym or something, dude. Cause like that's just some really like beta shit. Okay. Disregard the opinions of anyone who doesn't have what you want. Everybody's got a fucking opinion, guys, but like how many of these people actually have what you want, right? Like I've just had to learn this. Like people will just keep saying shit and like they just don't know what they're talking about. It's like I'm trying to run a business and somebody who's never tried to run a business is telling me how to run a business. And I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about here. Or somebody who's not in shape will tell me what my diet should be. And I'm just like, you're an idiot. Like I'm not listening to you. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you have to get on. You have to get on this thing where I'm just not, if you don't have what I want, there is no reason for me to listen to you. You get what I'm saying? And it's just full stop. Like I can't think of a situation where this isn't true, right? Like general life advice, if you want to take that from somebody who's older than you, well, I would say perhaps they do have what you want. Maybe they're wise in a certain area, but like specific situations, there is no reason to be listening to people's opinions unless they have what you want. So just disregard it. That means your parents, that means your friends, that means your siblings, that means whoever. Disregard it if they don't have what you want. There's no reason to listen to them, okay? You want to be stoic and rational, right? Everybody's so fucking emotional. And if you want to go watch a video where I break this down, I break down Dan Bilzerian and Piers Morgan's interview they did a few months ago. And I start breaking down basically how Dan stays in this very stoic, rational frame while he's speaking. And Piers just consistently gets more feminine and emotional and loses all frame. And if you want to go watch it, it's like literally an hour-long breakdown of this situation and how a douche maintains a stoic, rational demeanor. He's basically like daddy in a situation. You know, daddy doesn't get moved off center when the kids start throwing a fit, right? That's what the douche does. He's stoic and rational, okay? Without the douche mentality, it will be impossible to fully LifeMaxx. You have to get this because you're going to have to go through some shit to LifeMaxx. You got to have balls to LifeMaxx because it's going against the grain and people are going to judge you for that, okay? You have to develop this. Number 2, create a freedom business. So what is a freedom business? This is what a freedom business looks like for me. In my case, right, I use social media to get real estate business. And because of this, I have a level of freedom that the average person doesn't have. I can go on trips when I want to. I don't have a boss that I have to listen to. I don't have to I just don't have that certain level of control that most people have to deal with because I create content on social media. That's where I get my clients. That's how I run my own business. I work for myself. That's what a freedom business looks like. Most freedom businesses these days are going to be built on social media. In fact, social media really was the dawn of the freedom business idea. Like, cause you really like before social media, it would be very hard to build a freedom business, but thanks to social media, you can build one of these freedom businesses. And what I mean by a freedom business is basically, it's like the kind of thing that you have detached time from income. You have detached certain responsibilities from making money. Most people are going through their lives in this way where they have to show up to a spot and stay there for a certain amount of time to get paid. And if you're in this kind of system, then you just can't really have that much freedom in your life because you always have to keep going back to this thing and your time is always controlled by this thing. So you need to find a way to detach your income from your time as much as possible. That's kind of what a freedom business is about. Freedom is the most important power that money gives you. You need money to have freedom. Unless you're just going to be a fucking homeless bum, you need to have money to have freedom, right? So it's kind of like, everybody in the middle is stuck. If you want to be a homeless bum, you can have freedom. If you want to be rich, you can have freedom. But the thing is, like, a lot of rich people, they don't actually have a freedom business. A lot of businesses are a headache, right? You got to manage staff. You've got a physical location for it. You've got inventory issues. You can't really take off work because nobody else is like able to run the company without you. It's like it's this huge thing that demands all of your time and energy. And basically your life gets devoted to that thing. And it's very similar to people in 9-to-5 jobs, right? Lots of people give up all their freedom to make money. And they think like in the end, they'll get their freedom back. And that is true. Like you do for certain seasons of your life, you have to sacrifice to make money. I mean, I'm in one of those seasons right now, but like a lot of people, they don't ever actually end up getting their freedom back. And it's because they built a machine that doesn't actually produce freedom. they built something. They're like, someday I'll have enough money to have freedom. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe when you're 65. It's like, I'd rather have freedom now while I'm young and I'm vital, and like, I want to go out and talk to girls, and I want to go do cool shit, and I have energy and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to do that when I'm too old to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But most people build these lives, these ways of making money, whether it be a business or a career in a 9 to 5 or something, where they are basically sacrificing freedom their entire life for freedom in the future, hopefully. And it's also kind of hopefully, because most people don't actually get the retirement that they think they're going to get. And so it just doesn't make any sense. What you want to do is from the get-go build a business that prioritizes freedom. The LifeMaxer develops a freedom business, optimizing for income without constraint, meaning it's like, I had this situation. I'll give you an example of how this makes sense. In real estate, right? I make 6 figures in real estate, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and get my business to 7 figures a year as a real estate agent, which is really fucking hard to do. But I was like, let's go for it. I want to get rich and all this stuff. And I started doing it and working on it. And part of me was like, fuck, this is going to be like a lot more trouble than I thought. And I realized I was like, I'm going to need a team underneath me. I'm going to need, different agents that are working for me. I need transaction coordinators. I'm going to need a much bigger marketing budget. I'm going to need a lot of other stuff. I'm going to have a lot more clients demanding things of me. And I started to realize that I'm going to go get this thing, and I'm going to give up the thing I really want, which is freedom. And so I started realizing it's like, that's not actually what I want. It's like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can make money and lose what you wanted the money for in the first place. And so you want to be thinking about money from this perspective of, how can I leverage it for freedom? And so sometimes that means you don't actually make as much money as you possibly could in the short term, right? Like, I'm still thinking big, and a lot of this has to do with like this YouTube channel, like creating this YouTube channel, running the school community, and the other businesses that I plan to build off the back of this eventually. Those are things that give me a level of freedom at the income I want. Whereas I realized real estate, I was like, if I go down this path, like, I just see myself working 80 hours a week, managing a staff, and I'm stuck in a location, and every problem that happens is on me, and I have to clean all these messes up, and I've got a bunch of clients demanding things of me. And I was like, I can't be, this is not what I want out of life. And so I had to kind of like pump the brakes on this and realize I needed to change direction. And so you need to be asking yourself, whatever vehicle you're in right now, is it going to get you the freedom you want? And if it's not, you need to figure out how to change course. Whatever that looks like for you. It could be, remote 9 to 5 job. It could be a freedom business, which is what I advocate for, which means, go build yourself a personal brand, get your social media game on point, start selling some sort of service, start making money helping people with whatever problems they have. That's, to me, the best way to start the freedom business game. I have the whole course on it in my school community if you're interested in how I've done it, pretty much. But that's something that you have to do if you want to LifeMaxx. You have to build a freedom business. Number 3, prioritize quality of life, personal growth, and the best story above everything. What does this look like? It looks like saying no to the relationship if it doesn't improve your life, right? Most guys are just like, I'll take any relationship I get. The LifeMaxer's like, listen, if you're not making my life better, I'm not dealing with this. And if you're being real with yourself, 99% of women do not improve your life. They give you sex and that's it, guys. And even that like comes with so much drama that it's just not worth it, right? And you don't even have to get into a relationship to get sex. Like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? So like the LifeMaxer just looks at it, and from that perspective of like, I am at source. And this again is why the douche mentality matters, because you have to be a douche to be willing to look at a woman who's pressing you for a relationship and be like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, you have to have that kind of mentality. She wants to give you a phone call and wants to yap your fucking head off for 2 hours, and you're like, I got shit to do. That a willingness to say no, because it doesn't improve your quality of life to do it. You get what I'm saying? You need the douche mentality for this stuff. It's challenging yourself physically, right? That's something that's definitely all about personal growth. I think every man should be an absolute expert physically in his life, in every area, okay? Quitting your, quote, safe job to start a business, that's the best story. You know what I mean? That's all about personal growth as well, and also it's going to lead to a better quality of life. But like, this is what this looks like. Saying yes to the thing you're scared of, right? That's personal growth. That's the best story. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, an example of this was, quitting my job at that UPS store and moving to Houston, Texas to start a fitness coaching business full time. And so I was like, obviously that's a huge thing. I'd never been to Houston. It's 16 hours away from home. I didn't know anybody who lived there. I was just like, fuck it, we ball. Honestly, I was like, let's do it, right? Like, what's the better story? And I'm glad I did it. It didn't even like work out the way I expected it to, but I am so much better for it, both mentally. I made friends from it that I have to this day. I'm better. It's a better story. I developed myself through it. So like saying yes to the thing you're scared of is something life maxers are all about. It's doing that thing. Okay. Making plenty of money, but doing it in a way that doesn't kill your soul. Again, going back to building a freedom business. That is a huge element of the best story and quality of life, right? How are you going to have a good quality of life if you don't have enough money? You need to make a lot of money, but you need to do it in a way that doesn't kill your soul in the process. That's the big game here. Investing in yourself is a huge element of personal growth. A lot of people are out there and they will not spend money to get better, which is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Like, I made the video probably a couple weeks ago at this point where I talked about how I've spent over $12,000 already this year on personal growth. And at this point, it's probably over 14. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just on courses, on masterminds, on equipment for my business, on things like that. You know, like I just spend money on myself. I'm constantly looking to get better by investing in myself. The best investment you can make is in yourself. It's not in stocks. It's not in real estate. It's in yourself, because you can make $1,000 investment in something that teaches you something that leads to you making six figures. You can make this investment in something that transforms your physique. You can do all these different things. Investing in yourself is something you absolutely need to do if you're a LifeMaxer. Like I tell you, you should be taking 10% of your annual income and finding ways to invest it in getting better. So if you're making 50K, you need to sanction off $5,000. I'm going to put this into getting better. You should seriously do this. That means personal trainer. That means courses. That means coaching. That means communities. That means whatever, right? Mastermind groups. It's just, you need to be doing this. Seriously, I've never really regretted investing in myself, guys. Okay. Number 4, focus on health. We don't want to be looking like fucking beer gut guy. There is nobody in LifeMaxxing who looks like beer gut man. Okay, seriously, that's just not how we do it, guys. Like, there's this weird thing people do where they just give up their health for everything else. And I tell you, like, what do you have if you don't have your health? You look like shit. You feel like shit. You're going to die early. Like, why are you doing any of this if you're just going to destroy your health? It doesn't make any sense, okay? So what does this mean? It means spend money on quality food and a gym pass. I don't understand this cutting costs on food thing. I literally, when I was in Houston, Texas, I had to sleep in a garage for a month and a half because I couldn't afford rent. And part of that was because I also refused to give up quality food. I literally chose to sleep in a garage over cut down the quality of the food I was eating, because I was like, I'm going to feel like trash if I eat trash food. And that's just going to make things worse. So I'm not going to do it. My brain's going to work worse. I'm going to look like shit. Like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? I will spend money on food over pretty much anything. And I think everybody should do that. Like, that should be that is the fuel going in your body. If you trash that, then everything's fucked from there, guys. Like, everything, like all the chronic disease issues we have in this country, obesity, obviously, everything starts with what you put in your body. Seriously, like, quality food as a key. Pay for a gym pass. Enough of this, oh, I go to my apartment gym. Like, I've never met somebody who's in fantastic shape who goes to an apartment complex gym, guys. It just doesn't happen. And you know why? It's because they've got like 2 fucking machines. They've got like one of those like rope pull down things, and they've got like an ab crunch thing. And that's what they've got. And you're over there trying to get fucking jacked off this stuff. And you get bored with it in a week because they've got no equipment, for one thing. And then the other thing is just like, it's just not enough to get the job done. Pay fucking $40 a month for a gym pass. God damn, man. That one drives me nuts. Like, people are like saving money on gym passes and food. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? This is just like Neanderthal thinking. Seriously, it's just so dumb, right? Prioritize sleep, okay? Get off the phone, go to bed, right? This is one that I'll be honest, I still struggle with this sometimes, because you just get distracted, life catches up to you, you're busy and stuff. But seriously, like, when I'm like really dialing in my sleep, my life is much better. You need to prioritize getting sleep. If you need to set an alarm on your phone for the evening to make you go to bed, do it. You got to do something, but you got to, like, the 5 hours of sleep per night, it's crashing your testosterone. It's causing you to hold more body fat. Your brain's not functioning right, which is killing your productivity. Get some sleep, okay? Meditation. This is not just about physical health. This is about mental health, okay? Meditation is one of the best things I do. I meditate every single day. This is a key to LifeMaxxing. It's going to help you with your douche mentality, because you're going to get into that space where you're non-reactive, you're not emotional, you can stay more grounded. It's going to keep you out of all these negative thought patterns that you have going through your head that are self-sabotaging you. It's a total game changer. I put martial arts on here because this is something that has truly changed my life, has been doing boxing. Seriously, it's an absolute game changer. And I think it's a key element of physical health because it trains both mental and physical health. It's a total, like, it's an extremely intense cardio workout. It's like, it's just a different kind of training that I really advocate for every guy. And it's also because of, right, what I say here, prioritize being aesthetic and dangerous. I think that's the perfect combo for men. Aesthetic, meaning you've got that nice muscular physique that's attractive, and you're dangerous, right? Because if you're just like bulky guy, like walking around, like that's better than nothing. And like people usually won't give you a problem if you're jacked. You know what I'm saying? But if you throw in the dangerous element, you're like a real fucking beast at that point. When you look like a beast and you can do damage like a beast, that's a serious fucking combination, guys. And it's dope to be that way. I'll tell you, like, it's interesting. You know, I'm not like a pro boxer at this point or anything, but like I'll get out of my car. Let's say it's night at a gas station. I get out and there's like people around who maybe are like a little bit shady looking. And in my mind, I'm like, I could literally just fuck anybody up who's out here. Like, I just know it. And I'm like, it's just a nice feeling. Unless they've been training, I'm going to fuck them up if they give me a problem. You know what I mean? It's a whole different way you carry yourself. So you got to focus on health, guys. I'm going to make a whole video about this. Every man, especially in his 20s, needs to prioritize physical excellence. I didn't say physical mediocrity. I didn't say physically decent. I said excellence. Like, you should just be dialed the fuck in physically. There's no reason not to be. Embrace life and learn how to play the game. That's number 5. The LifeMaxxer embraces the way the world is without judgment. So there's a lot of people out there who they just love to complain about the way the world is on every side, right? You've got the conservatives bitching about stuff. You've got the liberals bitching about stuff. You got the normies bitching about the price of gas. Like, everybody's just complaining about some shit. Complain. The middle managers suck. The CEO gets paid too much. Houses cost too much. The world sucks. Jobs don't pay enough. It's just complaints all the fucking way down. And it's just like the LifeMaxxer does not do this. He embraces the world without judgment. He says, this is how it is. Okay, fine. And then this is the question he says, okay, this is how it is. Now, how do I win? That's his only question. He's like, I'm here. I'm going to win. I'm going to figure this out. Okay, fine. Yeah, jobs don't pay well. Well, what does pay well? I'm going to do that. And that's when the freedom business concept comes out and stuff. And it's like, you start to realize, like, life's actually pretty fantastic. I truly believe this is far and away the best time to ever live in the history of humanity. We have the internet, which allows us to learn things and build businesses from location neutral positions. A freedom business was not possible 40 years ago, guys. You worked in a fucking factory, okay? Life is so much better than it used to be, I'm telling you. The LifeMaxxer realizes that life is actually pretty great, but that most people just don't know how to play the game. This is the thing. People think the world's fucked. It's like, no, you're just bad at the game. It's like if you were playing chess and you didn't know how a knight moved. You know what I mean? And it's like, how does this guy keep beating me? It's like, well, you don't even know how to move the pieces. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're getting fucking smoked. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how most people are. They're like, I don't understand how this person got rich. And it's like, well, they know how to play the game and you don't. You're still putting pennies in a fucking savings account. And this guy's out here, you know, in private equity figuring this shit out, or he's starting a business, or he's investing in real estate. He's doing something, right? He's making moves on the board. He's investing in himself, which most people won't do. Most people panic about buying a book. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they don't understand the game. They're like, I don't want to spend this $30 on a book. It's like, you're telling me that book couldn't get you $30 worth of value? Like, on its face, that's ridiculous. Of course it's going to. You know what I'm saying? It's just this scarcity mindset people are in. And it's with everything. The guy who keeps failing with women, it's not that the world sucks, it's that he sucks with women. That's the problem. The problem is not life. The problem is you not knowing how to play the game. If your life's not where you want it to be, because there are people out there who are winning. And so if you're not winning, it's not life's fault. It's your fault for not knowing how to play the game. Okay? That's how this works. Break the rules, LifeMaxx. That's the final message I want to leave you guys with, is like, enough of the fucking normie ass system. It's time to break the rules, punk the game. We're going to be LifeMaxxers out here, okay? And guys, if you're ready to start developing your douche mentality, you can click this video that's coming on screen right now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.